Hello, my name is Eduardo, and I'm here interviewing Mrs. Zambrano. So, Mrs. Zambrano, can you introduce yourself a little bit?
Yeah, thanks for this opportunity to be part of your project. I'm Mr. Zambrano. I'm a teacher at Lincoln High School. Right now, my role is ed specialist. I'm a caseworker. I mean, a case manager. Prior to this, I was teaching history at Millennial Tech, and I also love teaching history. But for now, I'm a case manager, co-teacher. Yeah.
Thank you. So, can you tell me how long have you lived in San Diego?
Been here since 1981. Got here when I was 5 years old. Was born originally in Puebla, Mexico. Mis papás, my parents are Mexicanos, right? But been here about 45 years in San Diego.
Thank you. Now, you belong to Generation X. What do you think your generation is known for?
Well, we're talking about like the 80s. I grew up in the 80s, the early 90s. I think two pivotal moments in my generation are like the social tensions that we experienced. Like we grew up in like the war on drugs, mass incarceration of people in our community. We're part of the hip hop generation. We're talking about like the rappers that emerged during this period, like Eazy-E, Ice Cube, Tupac, and we also got the emergence of Chicano rappers, right? Like we all got for example, today Spanish rap is it's a big phenomenon in our community. So even like Spanish Mexican rappers have emerged to be a big, in society, right? Like also similar to like our
Like a big part of the industry?
yeah, inner city issues, right? Talking about inner city issues, yeah.
Thank you. So, what three words will you use to describe your generation?
Um, Resiliency, because our generation we face a lot of social issues, obstacles, tensions, social tensions. We got to be resilient. Um, I talked about opportunity also because had it not been up for opportunity, um, that kind of my counselor and my principal had me exposed me to, like they helped me see that opportunity for me to improve my life and go beyond the barrio and go to college and that transformation, right? Um, Maybe also, so I say opportunity, and maybe also, I think, I'm kind of lost my train of thoughts right here. Maybe culture. I think also was a big thing because the emergence of the of community, uh, like culture, like today, like Chicano Park, the Chicano culture, for example, in our community, that's a big thing. That's something that's part of identity that we kind of connected with in when I was growing up, at the mid '80s, early '90s. Yeah,
Okay. So, what do you think is great about your generation?
great. I said earlier, growing up in the era of hip hop and having being part of that generation where we learned how to break dance and we had like crews called the Floor Masters and Rest Steps, and they back in the days it was like Sherman were the Floor Masters. If you grew up in Sherman, if you grew up in Logan, you were like the Rest Steps, like breaking crew, right? And they would battle each other, right? They would go like battle each other literally in breakdancing. And I think that was pretty pivotal during my generation because it was uh, like some cultural revolution too, like in social expression, right? So that was pretty powerful.
Can you describe something positive and negative about your generation?
My generation X, or my generation.
Your generation
Uh,
X.
Positive, I think, like I said, community building political voice. It was like a continuation of the 1960s movement, right? We see the emergence of people coming together, fighting for rights, similar to what we saw with George Floyd and most recently. But propositions that were pretty racist towards our community, like Proposition 187 by some former governor, Pete Wilson. He demonized our community, our people. So that was pretty negative. And positive was because this negative was turned to something harnessed into positive political voice. Our people became conscious of the importance of, developing political power. And I'm talking about like people running for offices, right? Like mayor, city council, just local politics and state politics.
What is something your generation has accomplished?
Our generation, like I said, I think the whole essence of understanding that we needed to develop a political voice as a result of those attacks the attacks in our community, right? So that was a big accomplishment in our generation, where